I've claimed that I'm good at computers, and so I want to show you some code stuff I did. So I didn't code in college. Like one of the requirements for me to get into grad school was to do two undergrad Java classes, but like I learned how to code outside of college. Like I learned Python and Scala, PowerShell. Um, I learned C sharp. I basically learned C. Like I've never coded in it. I'm good at Linux. So I'm going to show you how to make PCAP analysis real quick. So the end result of like what you get, I guess, isn't really this. This is one of the things that is put into the program, which is like the results of like a whois query, like looking at the IP addresses. Like for some reason, I'm going to New Relic and Media, whatever. So this is like a cache that I wrote, like so that it speeds up the program so it doesn't have to go on the internet. So like if it finds like IBM IP addresses, Google IP addresses, Netflix, Twitter, Iona, Apple, Fastly, apparently the DoD, the Department of Defense, um, like I just kind of like GitHub. My IP addresses were weird. Like I was seeing Wikimedia a lot, and I didn't want it to cache Wikimedia because I was like literally catching Wikimedia hacking me. Like I caught a hacker from like some university, so it will come out and it will tell you stuff like if it's from Amazon or Time Warner Cable. Um, So here was a result that I got. Like basically I didn't go to like Facebook or anything. Like I went to like a random website. Like what I did is I went to like Google and I typed in like a very weird search like purple birds or something, and I'd go to like a website no one has anything to do with, and I wouldn't go to any other website, and like no one else was on my network because I had just cleaned my router. Like everyone's off my network. I kicked everyone off my network, but for some reason I'm going to all these IP addresses. So this is what I was printing out like early in my program, because like you have to like when you write a computer program you don't just like write like a massive computer program. This is my computer program first. It shows me that stuff that I'm going to Trimmer Video in New York. And it shows me that I'm going to AOL in Virginia and Adobe Systems, which like for me back then I didn't have Adobe software on my computer. So apparently I was going to Threat Matrix and SurfNet, and like I mentioned, Wikimedia, and I went to a pharmaceutical company. Like I really wish I had saved all my results. Like that computer, I don't know what happened to that situation. I went to Conversant Inc. and to Nobis Technology. So like this was like one website. Like I didn't go to multiple websites. So I definitely didn't go to Facebook, but for some reason I was going to Facebook. I was going to Encapsula. And so like we're all going is this DNS redirection? Clearly some of it would be like DNS redirections like when like an advertising company like you go to a website and they like for some reason you go to their website first, they take your data and then you go to Facebook or like you go to like the website you're going to. So like these are all the IP addresses I'm getting from going to one website. So I don't know who is, but they're in Tempe, Net Actuate. Like I was seeing IP addresses like that looked like it was the CIA base down the street that was a military base. Like because like at the end of the program, you don't just get this stuff. You get to know like where their GeoIP location is, like which is beyond just like their registered. Like this is where their website's registered to. So the Dow Jones is who has this website or they have this IP address, but like does that mean that I'm necessarily there? That like that's necessarily where the data is going? I don't think it is. But I can find out things based on the actual IP address. And so I do find out things later because like I did have a database with GeoIP location information. So if you go to my Glass Code Bender page and go to automate PCAP analysis, you can't use like the GeoIP stuff because like that database is too big. Like it's like a really big file. I didn't upload it, but it would like you will take the common IP ranges and then it will analyze like things about the IP and it will print out stuff. I can look at like what this class had for it. So it had like the postal code, latitude, longitude, like how accurate how accurate it is in its like prediction of like where the people are that are using the IP address. At least that IP address, like you can use like a cache, like, but like that is gonna slow it down so much it would drive you nuts to use a lot of caches. So like I think that the government tends to just like use like corporations and like sometimes apparently I've got the DoD showing up. I don't even know what that means. So in order to do this, like if you want to convert an IP address, and if you want to search through a range of IP addresses, you have to convert it to an integer. And I thought you would like to see this. This is in Python, so it's easy to understand. If you understand octets of IP addresses, yeah. So the program finds out things about your connections, like are you using certain ports? And so like when I've been talking about Microsoft like not letting you close certain ports, like I'm someone that cares about ports, and so like here you can see VPN key exchange. Like nowadays, like these ports would be more different. They'd be different. This is an old program. Yeah, here you can see remote administrator login and like a bunch of like Trojan type stuff. Like apparently there were Trojans that were using that. RTSP-P. That's for streaming data. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is boring. So you used to be able to go find out like how at risk certain ports are because like you can know things about a port by like looking at it. Like if it's over port 1,000, like it's a different type of port. Like they're like port 80, you know, and like there are ports that like are used for common protocols, and there are ports that like are used by like applications and stuff like that. And so like the program will tell you like if there's any risk for that port based on like the current threat situation. So running the program is your worst nightmare because you have to go figure out how to use T-Shark, which like this is the beginning of it. Look at this, the T-Shark 2R. I think I didn't do a very good job of using T-Shark. And the command continues. And the command continues. And I continue with the command. I didn't actually take all the screenshots because it's that many things that are in this like one thing that you would like type into your computer through the command line. So like there's like this thing called the command prompt in your computer. You know, hackers like have that black screen in their computer and it's like all scary looking or whatever. Like that's what the command prompt is, and like that is what a hacker would use for sure. Like I like my entire life is command prompt if I'm doing computer stuff. So like right here, this is another program I wrote called Big Brain Security that does like volatile analysis of like data, which is like memory data, like versus like what's like on your hard disk. Like antivirus software would check your hard disk, like your C drive. Like my program checks your like memory. So like right above my head, there's like command line history. Like so like when you like go in there, like a hacker would like do stuff, and like when like one thing that I would look for, like which I don't even know if I did look for it. If I didn't look for it, I suck. I'd be looking for like whether or not you're looking for my Wi-Fi password. Like, did someone get in this computer and look for like the Wi-Fi password? Like, why are you typing in that command? And like when I talk about like Microsoft won't let you like stop them from getting the Wi-Fi password. Like I asked a guy that was like the number like 2 cybersecurity guy at the Air Force Academy. Well, no, not the Air Force Academy, the entire Air Force, and he didn't know how to stop it. So there are things that you don't use on your computer, and that's what the other program looks for a lot. Like why are you using VNC? Like if you're someone that's not using VNC, which would be like for like remote desktop type stuff, like why? Like if you're someone like right here, like that's not using Meterpreter, which is like a hacking type thing, like then why is that DLL present like on your computer? And what's a DLL? It's like a process that like a process uses. Like you have an executable, and like they'll use DLLs. Like you always use certain DLLs. So like I can know things about a process based on the DLLs you use. Like if you're using crypt32.dll, I know that you're doing some cryptography stuff. So above it talks about hidden processes. Like you can hide a process from like me. Like was like I can go into like that black screen and I can like find out the processes that are running. Like I can find out all kinds of stuff. And but in memory like you can't hide it. And so like I like try to like go like why are you hiding it? Because like sometimes processes will be hidden. Like there are processes that are like always hidden. It seems like, but like I think I'm more meaning like that there are DLLs that are unlinked, but like clearly I think there are processes that seem like they're always hidden too. But like I always wonder if like my baseline for like what I know is hacked computers, even though like I always use fresh installs. So when it finds malware, like how is it doing that? It's looking at Yara rules, and like when you're looking for Yara stuff, like what does that mean? You don't get to know.